Forget every piece of financial advice that tells you to save every single $5 bill you get. Let's be honest, you've tried it. You get a crisp Lincoln back as change, you faithfully tuck it away in a jar, and you feel like you're making progress. But then what happens? A month goes by, you count it up, and you've got $35, maybe 50, if you hit a lucky streak. It's not enough for that vacation you're dreaming of. It's not enough to fix that weird noise your car just started making. It's barely enough for a decent dinner out. What if I told you that this popular savings hack is one of the least effective ways to build real, meaningful savings? What if I told you that the real $5 rule has absolutely nothing to do with the bill in your wallet, and everything to do with a simple 5% shift in your income that can fundamentally change your financial life? This isn't about collecting cash in a jar. This is about a proven, systematic way to finally afford that vacation, build your emergency fund, and hit your goals without that constant nagging feeling of being broke. Stick with me, because by the end of this, you will have a clear, actionable plan to implement a strategy that financial experts use, and it's 100 times more powerful than stashing cash under your mattress. The problem: debunking the old $5 myth. Let's start by properly tearing down the old rule. The $5 challenge. I get the appeal, I really do. It feels easy, almost like a game. There are no budgets, no apps, no complicated spreadsheets. You get a $5 bill, you save it. Simple. It's a tangible, low-effort way to feel like you're doing something proactive with your money. For a lot of people, it's the very first step they take into saving, and there's real value in building that initial habit. But here's the rub, the part that probably feels a little too familiar. The success of this method depends entirely on something you have almost no control over: how often you use cash and get a $5 bill back. In our increasingly digital world, that's a massive flaw. While many people still use cash, overall usage for payments has been steadily declining for years. If you're like most people paying with your card or phone, that jar is going to stay painfully empty. Your savings plan is left completely to random chance. Let's run the numbers to see just how weak this strategy really is. Let's imagine a hypothetical scenario where you're a pretty frequent cash user and you manage to save 2 $5 bills every single week. That's $10 a week. At the end of the year, you will have saved exactly $520. Now, is $520 better than nothing? Of course. But is it going to fund your trip to Europe? Is it going to cover a major car repair or a sudden medical bill? Not a chance. It's a drop in the bucket for the goals that most of us are actually stressed about. It gives you the feeling of saving without the actual results of a real savings plan. On top of the low returns, there's a huge psychological trap. When that money is sitting in a jar on your dresser, it's not just a savings fund. It becomes a temptation fund. It's visible, it's accessible, and it's way too easy to borrow from when you want to order pizza or snag an impulse buy online. Because it doesn't feel like real savings, it feels like bonus cash. We don't protect it. It's not in a bank, it's not earning interest, and it's not truly working for you. It's just stagnant cash. So, while the $5 bill challenge is a cute way to dip your toes in the water, it's not a strategy. It's a trick. And you deserve a real strategy that delivers real results. It's time to graduate from the savings kiddie pool and dive into the deep end where real progress actually happens. The solution, the real $5 rule, the 5% framework. All right, now for the part that will actually move the needle on your financial goals. The real $5 rule isn't about a bill, it's about a percentage, 5%. Specifically, it's about dedicating 5% of your after-tax income to your short-term savings. I didn't just pull this number out of thin air. This is a core part of proven financial frameworks, most notably the 50-15-5 rule championed by the experts at Fidelity. That rule breaks down your take-home pay like this: 50% for your needs, housing, food, utilities, 15% for retirement savings, and that crucial 5% for short-term savings. The last 30% is flexible for your wants, extra debt payments, or whatever else you choose. Today, we're zeroing in on that powerful 5% because it is the key to ending the cycle of living paycheck to paycheck. This is the money that acts as your financial shock absorber. So, why is dedicating 5% of your income so much more effective? First, it's consistent and you are in control. Your savings are no longer based on the luck of the draw at the grocery store. Instead, it's tied directly to your income, the most predictable financial element in your life. Whether you get paid once a month or every other week, you know money is coming in, and you can plan for a precise amount of it to be saved. This kills the guesswork. Second, it's scalable. As your career grows and your income increases, your savings automatically grow right along with it. 5% of a $40,000 salary is a world away from 5% of an $80,000 salary. Your savings power increases in lockstep with your earning power, without you having to constantly rethink your entire budget. The system just works, quietly building your wealth in the background. Third, and this is the secret sauce that makes it stick, it's psychologically painless. 5% is small enough that, for most people, it doesn't trigger that feeling of deprivation. You don't feel broke. You don't feel like you're making some huge, painful sacrifice. It's a minor adjustment, not a financial diet of bread and water. This is exactly why so many aggressive budgets fail. They ask for too much, too soon. The 5% rule is gentle, sustainable, and it works with your brain, not against it. Let's get clear on what this 5% is for. This is not your 401k. That's a separate long-term goal, the 15 and 50-15-5. This 5% is specifically for short-term goals and those predictable but irregular expenses. Think of it as your life happens fund. This is the money for the new set of tires you know you'll need in a year. It's for the down payment on your next car. It's for that annual family vacation. It's for covering the dentist bill that insurance didn't quite handle. These are the exact expenses that so often push people into credit card debt because they just weren't ready. Your 5% fund is the buffer that stops that from happening. Now, let's do the math again and see the staggering difference. Remember that $520 a year from the old rule? Let's take a modest take-home income of $50,000 a year. 5% of that is $2,500 a year. That's nearly 5 times more than the bill-saving method. If your take-home pay is $70,000, your 5% savings becomes $3,500 a year. Now we're talking about real money. Now that vacation isn't just a daydream, it's a plan. This is the power of a system over a gimmick. The how-to, your step-by-step implementation guide. Okay, you get the why, so let's get into the how. This is where we make it happen. I'm going to walk you through 4 simple steps you can take today to put the 5% rule into motion. Step 1. Calculate your 5% target. This is step 1, and it's the foundation for everything. You need to know your number. First, find your after-tax or take-home pay. This is the actual amount that hits your bank account from your paycheck. Don't use your gross salary. Use the net amount you actually have to live on. The formula is dead simple. Your monthly take-home pay. X 0.05 equals your monthly savings goal. For example, if your monthly take-home is $4,000, your 5% target is $200 a month. If you get paid bi-weekly, and each check is $1,800 after taxes, your target is $90 from every single paycheck. Write this number down. This is your new goal. It's no longer a vague wish. It's a concrete, measurable target. Step 2. Automate the transfer. This is, without a doubt, the most critical step. If you only remember one thing from this whole video, make it this: automate your savings. You have to treat your savings like it's your most important bill, because frankly, it is. Here's exactly what to do. Log in to your online banking app. Go to the transfers section. You are going to set up a recurring automatic transfer from your checking account to a separate savings account. Schedule this transfer for the day you get paid or the day after. Why is this so powerful? It removes you, your emotions, your mood, your lack of willpower from the equation. The money is moved to savings before you even have a chance to see it, miss it, or spend it. You make the smart decision once, and the system executes it for you perfectly every time. This completely bypasses that all-too-common trap of trying to save whatever is left over, which, let's be real, is usually nothing. Step 3. Open and name the right account. So where does this 5% transfer go? Not into your main checking account, not into a jar. It needs its own dedicated home, separate from your daily spending money. This separation is key to protecting it from impulse buys. The best home for this money is a high-yield savings account, HYSA. HYSAs are mostly offered by online banks and pay way more interest than a typical brick-and-mortar bank. As of early 2026, many HYSAs are offering rates over 4%, with some even reaching 5% APY. This means your savings don't just sit there. They actively grow and make more money for you. It's literally free money that helps you reach your goals even faster. Once you open this account, do something that sounds small but is psychologically huge. Give it a specific name. Don't just call it savings. Call it what it's for. Name it Europe Trip Fund, Car Down Payment, or my personal favorite, Peace of Mind Fund. When you give your money a job and an exciting name, you create an emotional connection to that goal. You're no longer just saving dollars, you're building toward a dream, making you far less likely to raid the account for something that doesn't matter. Step 4. Define the purpose and protect the fund. Finally, you need to set clear rules for this account. This 5% fund is your war chest for short-term goals and non-catastrophic emergencies, things you see coming in the next 1 to 5 years. This could be saving for a wedding, paying for home improvements, or covering a pet's emergency vet visit. It's important to distinguish this from your full-blown emergency fund. A true emergency fund, as a standard rule of thumb from financial planners, should cover 3 to 6 months of essential living expenses in case of a major life event like a job loss. The good news? You can absolutely use this 5% rule as the engine to build that bigger emergency fund. That can be its first job. But its ongoing purpose is to handle life's financial bumps so you don't have to go into debt or touch your long-term investments. This 5% account is your first line of defense. It's your financial stability fund that lets you absorb a surprise $800 car repair without even flinching. Addressing hurdles and AMP, the hybrid model. I know what some of you are thinking. It sounds good in theory, but you're already seeing roadblocks. Let's tackle the most common hurdles right now, because this system is flexible enough to work for almost anyone. Hurdle number 1. I'm buried in bills. I can't possibly save 5%. This is the most common and most valid concern. If 5% feels like an impossible mountain to climb right now, do not give up. The goal is to build the habit. So, start smaller. Start with 2%. If that's too much, start with 1%. Let's go back to that $4,000 monthly income. 5% is $200, but 1% is just $40. That's $10 a week. Can you find $10? Maybe that's one less lunch out or a few fewer impulse buys at Target. Start with 1%. Automate that $40 transfer. After a couple of months, you'll realize you don't even miss it. Then, nudge it up to 2%. Then, 3%. The key is to start, automate the habit, and slowly build the muscle. Hurdle number 2. My income is irregular. I'm a freelancer/gig worker. The 50-15-5 rule seems rigid if your income isn't the same every month, but the percentage-based approach is perfect for this. You just apply it a bit differently. Instead of a fixed recurring transfer, you make it a manual habit. Every single time you get paid, a client invoice clears, a commission check lands, a weekly payout from an app hits. Your very first move is to calculate 5% of that specific amount and manually transfer it to your HYSA. Got a $1,200 check from a client? Immediately move $60 to savings. Had a great week and made $500? Transfer $25. This ensures you're always saving in proportion to what you're earning. Hurdle number 3. What about my credit card debt? Shouldn't every spare dollar go there? This is a critical question. High-interest debt is a financial fire, and you need to put it out. The interest you're paying is a guaranteed loss that's almost certainly higher than any gains you could make. Yes, paying it down should be a massive priority. However, having zero savings while you attack debt is a dangerous game. What happens if your car breaks down while you're throwing every dime at a credit card? You'll just have to put the repair on another credit card, digging the hole deeper. You need a small savings buffer to break this cycle. A balanced approach is usually best. Maybe you modify the rule. You could allocate 2% to your short-term savings account to build an initial $1,000 buffer, and then aggressively throw the other 3%, plus any other money you can find, at your highest interest debt. Once that debt is gone, you can crank your savings rate back up to 5% or even more. And finally, what about that old $5 bill challenge? Should you ditch it? Not necessarily. Let's create the hybrid model. Keep collecting your fives if you enjoy it. But at the end of each month, take that cash to the bank and deposit it directly into your high-yield savings account as a bonus on top of your automated 5% savings. This way, the old habit serves the new, more powerful strategy. So, let's bring it all home. We've debunked the old, ineffective $5 bill trick. We've laid out the real $5 rule, the powerful, consistent, and psychologically smart 5% framework. We've walked through the exact step-by-step process to calculate your number, automate the system with an HYSA, and give your money a purpose. And we've tackled the biggest hurdles that could get in your way. This simple, automated 5% shift is the key. It's the secret to finally affording that vacation, building a buffer that gives you true peace of mind, and taking back control of your financial life without the guilt of a restrictive budget. So here's my challenge to you. Right now, when this is over, take 10 minutes. Log into your bank, do the math, and set up that automatic transfer. I don't care if it's 5% or 1%. The most important thing you can do for your financial future is to start. The best time was yesterday. The second best time is right now. And I want to know what you're working towards. What's the first goal you're going to save for with this rule? A trip? New computer? Building up that safety net? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single one. If you got value from this and feel ready to take action, hitting that like button would mean a lot. And be sure to subscribe for more simple, actionable financial strategies that actually work. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.